This is Ask an Expat with Marcus and Matt from An Expat's Russia, where we answer your questions about what it's like to live, work, and travel in Russia. So if you're going to Russia, especially if you have a Russian girlfriend you're going to visit, or I know when we do visas, a lot of people want to go and visit a girlfriend or somebody they've been talking to, and they're getting more serious. So it's important to take the time to
So I think
go through those things.
So I think with that we should try to wrap it up here, and think about what would we advise if you're dating a Russian female or thinking about getting married. What do you think is the most important? And then I'll share my.
So I think we already covered a lot as far as taking initiative, taking the first step.
Yeah.
Even though, oddly enough, the first step sometimes could be very awkward, trying to get to know a Russian girl. So it does have a lot to do with you can't always just walk up to somebody and expect them to you can't just pick up a girl in Russia like you do in the U.S.
Right.
Especially one that you want to, have a relationship with.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, I would say maybe it has changed slightly just from 2009. Right. But I think in general that's still true, where you have to be careful of where you're meeting these people and under which circumstances, and so that's probably the most important thing. Kind of recognize that it's slightly different. You need to just be yourself, but take initiative, even if you don't speak much Russian.
Well, I would maybe even add to that. I think there's this misconception that Russian women want to leave Russia, and it's very easy to go to Russia and pick up an unbelievably beautiful girl. I think what Western people don't understand when they come and think about Russia in this perspective is that in Russia, well, one, there's a gender imbalance, so that affects it. And we can talk about that in another video. But more important is that status in Russia is viewed very differently than in the U.S., I think. So if you go to Russia and you think you're going to get the most beautiful girl, you might be able to have conversations with her and maybe go on a few dates. But at the end of the day, if the girl's, let's say, kind of way out of your league, right? It's very, very hard to have a relationship with that kind of girl. I would honestly even advise people that you shouldn't try to get a girl that's significantly more attractive to you that you couldn't get in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think standard biology still holds true. I mean, if you have a lot of money, then maybe it works. But I think there's this misconception that you can just go to Russia and pick up any really beautiful girl. And I think that that's not right. But I could, what are your thoughts?
That's interesting. I mean, you can do it, and I've seen it done if
for a relationship,
they want something. Not for a relationship. Exactly. That's what I was going to say. If they want something else.
Right.
So, for example, I know some people who have gotten married to get to the U.S. or to get to other countries. So, if you're looking for a lasting relationship, you do need to take those words to heart. But in general,
it's very easy to start talking to Russian women, even if they're incredibly beautiful, right? The problem, though, is that an incredibly beautiful girl in any country of the world has more options. If that makes sense.
Yes.
I mean, this is
yes.
It's so it's no different than trying to date the same girl in the United States. It may have this illusion that, she's way more interested in me in Russia than she is in the U.S., but it's just an illusion, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just see that a lot of foreigners make that mistake. They think they can go to Russia and then find the most beautiful girl and bring her back to the United States and everything's going to be great. Of course, maybe there's exceptions that works out, but I think in general, having a much more realistic outlook on what you're doing will have much better results.
Yeah, I would agree with that in general, and also I guess to kind of give people some advice who may already have a Russian girlfriend or they're thinking of going to Russia. Just from my experience, where my personal experience, and also we do visas all the time. So when customers call Let's Russia, or they write in, and we're getting into details, like personal details. So we process their application, we have their passports, and we send it. We take it to the consulate, and we get their visa. And in chatting with customers, they tell us why they're going, right? Why they're getting a tourist visa, why they're getting a private visa, and it's not uncommon that people are going to meet somebody. But there have been instances where it was quite clear to me that the girl, just in the conversation with the person, and it's mostly girls. It's not. I mean, it's mostly guys going to Russia to meet a girl. Sometimes I have had situations where it's a girl going to Russia as well to meet a guy. But in general, you got to be careful about sending money. And,
absolutely, this is definitely a topic for another video. We have to get into it.
Yeah, just piece of advice: if you're dating a Russian woman long distance, and she's asking for money and things, presents and things like that, then I would be weary. Yes. Because Russian women are independent. They're proud of themselves, and typically they don't need. They want your support in a real relationship, but they don't need it unless they're looking for something else.
One thing I would say about the presents, and then we'll wrap it up here, is that a lot of girls in Russia like to test guys and say, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. And I would actually say, based on my experience, that when you do that, it's a worse result than not giving her what she asks for. Like if you buy her all of the presents that she's telling you, buy me this, buy me that, buy me this, buy me that, it actually it doesn't help the relationship, it only hurts the relationship. And that if you don't buy all of those gifts, that you'll be in a better position, and she'll appreciate you more for sort of standing up for yourself, I guess.
Yeah. I haven't had. Well, we were both kind of poor when we were dating, so.
Well, we were too.
luckily, yeah, and that's a good point as well. Like, if you're poor and the girl likes you, then that's probably a good sign.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed what we talked about today. And I'm sure that we'll make some more videos about Russian women, but stay tuned to An Expat's Russia for more about what it's like to live in Russia as an expat.
And if you've had experiences dating Russian women,
let us know in the comments.
You're married to a Russian woman, what was your experience, and did it differ from ours? So see you in the next video.
This was Ask an Expat with Marcus and Matt from An Expat's Russia. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have a question about Russia, let us know in the comments. We'll answer it in another video.